You know that feeling when you sit down to do something important? Like you finally have time, you finally have space. You're like, okay, this is it. I'm gonna knock it out. And then somehow, 45 minutes later, you've answered 2 random emails, you've opened a new tab that you do not remember opening, you checked your phone for 1 second, and now you're kinda tired, kinda annoyed, and you're questioning if you even know how to focus anymore. Yeah, that feeling. Most people think they have a discipline problem. Like they think their brain is broken, or they have ADHD, or they need some insane morning routine, or they need to wake up at 4:30 and take cold showers and journal with a fountain pen. But here's the thing. For a lot of people, it's not discipline. It's that they never cross a specific threshold. And once you cross it, focusing becomes way easier than you expect. That threshold is 90 minutes. The 90-minute rule is basically this. If you can protect a clean 90-minute block for the thing that matters, your whole week changes, your stress changes, your output changes, and honestly, your confidence changes too, because you stop feeling like you're constantly behind. My name is Mike, and I spend way too much time thinking about productivity and why some people seem calm and on track, while other people are always busy but somehow never caught up. If you like learning simple stuff that actually works in real life, go ahead and like this video, subscribe to the channel, I upload all the time, and it helps the channel a lot. Okay, let's talk about why 90 minutes is so different from, say, 30 minutes. Because you're probably thinking, dude, if I had 90 minutes, I'd be unstoppable. And yeah, maybe. But also, a lot of people do get 90 minutes and still waste it. So what's really going on? Here's what life looks like without the 90-minute rule. You work in little chunks. 10 minutes here, 15 minutes there, maybe 25 minutes if you're lucky. And you're constantly starting over. You're constantly warming up. It's like trying to cook a meal, but every time the water starts boiling, somebody turns off the stove and you have to start again. So you're always in this half-cooked state, and then at the end of the day, you're exhausted. Not because you did hard work. You're exhausted because you kept switching, and switching is expensive, mentally expensive. Like your brain pays a tax every time you change tasks. And the reason 90 minutes matters is because most people underestimate how long it takes to actually get into real focus. There's a warm-up period. For some people, it's 10 minutes. For some people, it's like 30. And if your whole work block is only 20 or 30 minutes, you basically spend the whole thing warming up and then it ends. So you never hit that zone where things start to feel smooth. You never hit the part where your brain stops resisting. Because your brain does resist at first. That's normal. It's not a character flaw, it's just how humans are. When you start something hard, your brain is like, can we do literally anything else? Can we reorganize the desktop? Can we check the bank account? Can we look up the best protein powder? Can we open the fridge? Can we do anything that feels like progress but is actually not progress? And if you let your brain win in the first 10 minutes, it learns something. It learns, oh, cool, I don't have to do hard things. If I feel uncomfortable, I just switch. That becomes your default. But if you can stay in it long enough, something flips. The resistance drops. And this is the part that people don't experience often, so they don't even know it exists. There's a point where the task stops feeling heavy and it starts pulling you forward. You start connecting ideas. You start moving faster. You start making decisions without overthinking every single one. And that usually does not happen in minute 7. It happens later. So 90 minutes isn't some magical spiritual number. It's just long enough for the warm-up and long enough for the actual work. Now, let me give you the simplest example. Think about writing something. If you have 20 minutes, you can maybe write a few lines. But a lot of that 20 minutes is you remembering what you were doing, getting the tone right, figuring out where to start, deleting the first sentence because it sounds weird, rewriting it, opening a tab to check something, coming back, and then time's up. In a 90-minute block, you can go from I don't know where to start to, oh wait, I'm kind of cooking. Same with studying, same with editing, same with coding, same with literally anything that requires thought. Even cleaning, honestly. Like, if you only have 15 minutes, you just move stuff around. If you have 90 minutes, you can actually finish a room. And finishing changes your brain, because incomplete work sits in your head like a background app draining battery. It's always there. You're eating dinner and your brain goes, hey, remember that thing you didn't finish? You're trying to sleep and your brain goes, hey, tomorrow is going to be chaos. So what the 90-minute rule really does is it creates closure. It creates that feeling of, okay, I moved something forward in a real way. Now, here's the next layer. Most people think time management is about time. It's not. It's about attention. Because you can have time and still waste it if your attention is chopped into pieces. So, what ruins attention? Two big things. The first one is obvious. Your phone. The second one is sneakier. Open loops. Open loops are basically anything unfinished that your brain keeps checking. A conversation you haven't replied to, a task you forgot, a thing you said you'd do, a tab you left open, a meeting you're anxious about. All of that is like mental noise, and the more noise you have, the harder it is to enter focus. So the 90-minute rule is not just work for 90 minutes, it's protect 90 minutes from noise, which means before the 90 minutes starts, you do a tiny reset. Not a whole ritual, just a reset, like 2 minutes. You write down the open loops, not solve them, just dump them. Grab a note, write, reply to Sarah, pay bill, schedule dentist, call mom, send that file. Your brain relaxes because it's like, okay, we're not going to forget. Then you start. Now, I want to talk about why most people fail at this even when they try. They schedule a 90-minute block, but they don't change the environment. They sit down and they keep notifications on, or they keep Slack open, or they keep email open, or they keep their phone face up on the desk. And then they expect themselves to have willpower. That's like trying to eat healthy with a pizza on your lap. It's possible, but why would you do that to yourself? If you want the 90-minute rule to actually work, you make distractions inconvenient. Not impossible, just inconvenient. Phone goes in another room. Or, if you're not that strong, at least put it behind you, not in your line of sight. Notifications off. One tab open. If you need something, write it down and get it later. Because the biggest killer of focus is just real quick. Just real quick becomes 12 minutes. And then you come back and you're not really back. You're half back. That's why people feel like they worked all day and got nothing done. They were present physically, but mentally they were bouncing. What changes when you actually get one clean 90-minute block per day? First, you start trusting yourself again. This sounds dramatic, but it's real. A lot of people don't have a planning problem. They have a trust problem with themselves. They tell themselves, I'll do it later. And then later comes and they don't do it. So they stop believing their own plans. And then they make even looser plans. And the cycle continues. A protected 90 minutes breaks the cycle because you start proving daily that when you say you're going to do something, you actually do it. Second, your anxiety drops because a lot of anxiety is not fear. It's unfinished business. It's your brain trying to keep track of too much. When you consistently move the important stuff forward, your brain stops screaming. It's like, okay, we're handling it. Third, you stop needing motivation because motivation is unreliable. You don't want a system based on vibes. You want a system based on time blocks that are protected. Now, here's the part most people miss. It's not that you need 90 minutes for everything. You don't. Most tasks are fine in 15 minutes. Some tasks are fine in 5. But the tasks that change your life, the tasks that actually create progress, usually need depth. They need time. And if you never go deep, you just maintain. You keep up with life, but you don't advance. That's why people feel stuck. They are doing a lot, but it's all shallow. So how do you use the 90-minute rule in real life? Let's make it super practical. Pick one thing. Not 5, 1. The thing that would make your life easier if it moved forward. Maybe it's your fitness plan. Maybe it's your job search. Maybe it's learning a skill. Maybe it's building a side project. Maybe it's organizing your finances. Whatever, one thing. Then choose a time that is realistic. This matters. People love to schedule the 90 minutes at the perfect time, like 5 a.m., when they have never woken up at 5 a.m. in their entire life. So they fail, and then they think the system doesn't work. No, you scheduled fantasy you, not real you. Real you needs a time that actually exists. For a lot of people, it's the first 90 minutes of the day. For others, it's late morning. For some, it's evening. The time is less important than the consistency, because once your brain expects that block, it starts showing up faster. It's like training a dog. Not in a disrespectful way, but you know what I mean. Repetition creates automatic behavior. Now, what do you do inside the 90 minutes? This is important. You don't start with, I'll just see what I feel like doing. That turns into wandering. You start with a target, a very small target, like outline the video, or write the first 400 words, or edit minutes 0 to 3, or apply to 3 jobs, or do the workout. Tiny target, because starting is the hardest part. Once you start, you can keep going. And if you finish early, cool. You either push further or you stop. But the win is the protected block, not squeezing every second for maximum efficiency. Now, let me hit a common mistake. People hear 90 minutes and they go, okay, I need to grind the whole time. And then they burn out. The 90-minute rule is not about suffering. It's about depth. And depth can include little pauses. You can stare at the wall for 20 seconds, and that might actually be productive because your brain is processing. The key is you are not switching to a new stimulus. You are staying in the same world. No social feed, no messages, no news. Because those things hijack attention. Okay, now let's talk about why 90 minutes beats the popular short sprint productivity advice. Because you've probably heard the Pomodoro thing, right? 25 minutes, break, repeat. That can work for certain tasks, but for deep tasks, those breaks can become escape hatches. You spend 25 minutes warming up, then you reward yourself with a break, then you come back and warm up again, so you never go deep. The 90-minute block forces you to stay long enough for the resistance to fade, and that's where the magic is. Now, let's talk about the real villain. It's not laziness, it's fragmentation. Fragmentation is when your day is chopped into tiny pieces by other people's priorities. A meeting here, a message there, a quick call, a quick request, a quick favor. And none of it is evil, but it adds up. So if you want to protect 90 minutes, you have to defend it. And defending it can be simple. You don't need to be rude. You can just say, I've got a block. I'll get back to you at noon. Or, I'm in focus time. Can I respond later? Or if it's work, you just create the expectation that you are not instantly available 24/7. Because being instantly available is a trap. It feels helpful, but it kills output. And then you end up working late because you couldn't work during the day. Now you're tired, your focus is worse, and the cycle continues. Okay, let me give you some examples so this feels real. Example 1. You have to study for something. If you try to study in tiny chunks, you'll spend most of the time remembering what you read last time. But if you do 90 minutes, you can go from confused to clear in one session. Example 2. You want to get in shape. A 90-minute block might be your workout plus meal prep. Now your whole week gets easier because future you does not have to make decisions while hungry and tired. Example 3. You want to start a YouTube channel. A 90-minute block might be script writing. You do that 4 times a week, suddenly you have content. Not because you had motivation, but because you had protected time. Example 4. You're overwhelmed with life admin. Bills, appointments, inbox. Do one 90-minute admin block once a week. Phone calls, calendar, payments, cleanup. It sucks while you do it, but then your brain stops buzzing all week. And this is the part I love. Once you start doing this, you realize something. A lot of your stress wasn't from how much you had to do. It was from never finishing. When you can consistently do 90 minutes, You become the type of person who can do hard things without drama. You don't need to hype yourself up. You don't need to wait for the perfect mood. You just start. And that identity is worth more than any planner app. Because once you have that identity, you can apply it to anything: money, fitness, career, relationships, anything. Now, quick reality check. You will fail at this sometimes. You'll plan the 90 minutes and you'll blow it. That's normal. The goal is not perfection. The goal is to reduce how often you waste your best hours, because your best hours are limited. And if you're spending them on reactive stuff, you'll feel busy forever. So here's the simplest way to start. Tomorrow, pick one 90-minute block. Just one. Protect it. Phone away. One target. Do not overcomplicate it. And when you're done, notice how you feel. Not just what you produced, how you feel. Most people feel calmer. They feel lighter because they did the thing. And once you do that a few times, it stops feeling like a hack and it starts feeling like a lifestyle. Like, this is just how I operate now. I protect my mind. I protect my attention. I stop letting random stuff steal my day. And that's really what time management is. Not squeezing more into your day, but choosing what deserves your best attention. Because if you can control your attention for 90 minutes a day, you're ahead of almost everyone. Seriously, most people never go deep. They scroll, they react, they answer, they bounce, they end the day tired. If you can go deep consistently, you will build things, you will finish things, and life starts to feel way more under control. So yeah, that's the 90-minute rule. Try it for a week, one block per day, and watch how fast things change. If this helped, like the video, subscribe, and I'll keep making these simple, practical breakdowns that actually fit real life.